Hello, welcome to the live stream. Fair warning, this is going to be a short live stream today. Probably like half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, because I have to work this evening. Um, but I have a fun thing, I think. We are going to look through. So there was a joke in the chat several live streams ago that uh that I should make scratch and sniff like donut stickers as merch. And I completely like 100% forgot about it. And then Aaron told me that he has ordered oh no, this is not on. Aaron has told me he has ordered like a dozen plus scratch and sniff sticker samples. So I'm gonna, I guess, do my best to smell these various samples. It's really quite pungent in here. And see if there's any that maybe would be good for scratch and sniff Snickers. It was somewhat a joke. But now I kind of think it might be fun to do. If it's like reasonably priced, I think it would be a kind of hilarious little print run to do. Maybe as patron stickers. If you hear meowing, that's because Machka has decided that she's gonna attack the twist tie. They are real. Oh, good. Eric was only hearing the intro music, no open mic. Good. I was worried when you said coming through loud and clear. I was worried you could hear my conversation with Aaron. Not that it was like particularly important, but so I guess we should dive into that. However, we do have a donut today, and the donut is from a different shop than I normally do. It is from Blue Star Donuts, which is hilariously thematic to work for me right now, but later we'll talk about that. So this is they have like 3 vegan flavors, and they pretty much don't change, unlike dough. But this one is matcha, not matchka, matcha crumble. So it's got a brown sugar crumble with like actual matcha in it, and then a glaze, and it's a cake donut underneath. They have like pretty, I've described them greasy, but I feel like greasy is like a negative connotation. They just have a very, like they're cake donuts, but they're very like, I think they use maybe some olive oil or something in their vegan donuts, and they're very rich for cake donuts, because usually cake donuts are like kind of dry, and I would not describe them as dry. A non-dough donut. Cool. Well, I will say I pulled out my little donut log when I was at the store, which I didn't actually need to do at the store. I didn't realize it, but like this is where I store my like receipts and everything. And I do actually need it when I'm at dough, because I'm always trying to remember which one I've had previously, and this is like very helpful for flipping back, because they change their flavors and have so many flavors so often. I always kind of struggle with that. But anyway, the employee thought this was very cute that I had a little donut log. So, I mean, it would also be cool to have a scratch and sniff donut log. Oh my dollar merch. The cat has taken apart one of her toys, but now is using as an entirely new toy. So I guess it's time to dive into this nonsense. So this is what it looks like when you order scratch and sniff samples. I didn't even think about it. Like, I don't know. I was only thinking of scratch and sniff as like the only utility are like those stickers that were popular in the 90s. But I had forgotten that like there's scents all the time in magazines for perfume ads. So, also, this is kind of amazing. I'm not a perfume wearer by any stretch of the imagination. It's also got a little sample here of like a scratch and guess. And then this one's like a car hanger style. I think this one is for candles. Okay. Just got a... have to put my computer on Do Not Disturb. Just got a notification about a story I'm working on, but very helpful. Okay. So I guess we just dive into this, right? I guess. I don't know if I can describe these well. Let's see how this works. Okay, so this is lemon. No, that one smells too much like Pine Sol, like floor cleaner. So that's in the reject pile. There's our no pile. Okay, strawberry. Ooh. I would say it smells not like real strawberries, but it smells like strawberry flavored like gum. Kind of smells like the zebra gum. Okay, that's in the maybe pile. Okay, this one's lime. Nope. It actually is very, very limey. And this one actually tastes exactly like the zebra gum lime stripe. However, it's still... I think it's a little too... I think it's like a little too cleanery smell as well. A green donut from Blue Star. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I can't tell what this one is flavored, but this is a sticker. Okay. Let's try coconut. I feel like I have high hopes for coconut because it's a very distinct scent, but it's not used in cleaners, at least in the US very often. Oh, it smells like the inside of a Bed Bath & Body Works. That's the only way I can describe it. That's a low maybe. Do we need a scratch and sniff log? I should be writing my ratings on them, shouldn't I? That's probably smart. I feel like my nose kind of hurts now from sniffing these so intensely. Okay, so what's my rating for this scratch and sniff? The other thing we're going to talk about, so that it's technically we talk about economics, is that it looks like the Federal Reserve in the U.S. is, in fact, raising interest rates, finally. Soon-ish. But still later than we all thought they were going to not raise interest rates, lower interest rates, because inflation is coming down. But it seems like unemployment is staying at about 4%, which is like a pretty decent number for unemployment. You don't want it to be too... So the Fed has two mandates, right? It's to keep the economy at full employment, which is a very nebulous number. It's the maximum number of people that can be employed without then raising the interest rate. So it's almost a self-defining prophecy. And then the other part of their... without raising inflation. And the other part of their mandate is to keep inflation low. Cinnamon roll. This smells 0% like a cinnamon roll. It doesn't even seem like it's been in the same room as a cinnamon roll. This just smells like one of those, no, 0 out of 5. I love cinnamon rolls, and this is not a cinnamon roll. Okay, straight into the pine sol pile. That smells like like a air freshener Glade plug-in. Okay, pumpkin pie. I also have high hopes for this. I'm worried I'm gonna be. Oh, this is pretty good. It's not pumpkin spice, it's pumpkin pie. That's somehow distinct. I think this one's a 4 out of 5. Maybe a 3 out of 5. Let's see. We'll put it in the... The cats are going to be very confused. I'm going to an event after this to report on things, and I feel like I'm going to be... I feel like I'm going to have like a weird smell stuck in my nose. Okay, this one's maple. I mean, it definitely smells like synthetic maple, but I don't necessarily think it's bad. Oh. Oh my god, I need a break, I feel like. I've only got like 3 more left, though. We're gonna troop on to the end. That's in the possible pile. Peanut butter cookie. Now that sounds like it. Oh my gosh, New World 1, you've never had pumpkin pie? Is that not a thing at all in the UK? How does this smell like a peanut butter cookie? This does not smell like a peanut butter cookie. I mean, it smells fine, but it does not smell like a peanut butter cookie. 3 out of 5. No. 2 out of 5. Downgrading it. It is giving me a little bit of a headache. I didn't really realize that would be true. I've just got 2 left, though, so I'm going to troop on. Okay, blueberry. Oh, blueberry stand-up. This is 4 out of 5. This is quite good. I don't really know what a 5 out of 5 would be. Because I think any fragrance is condensed to be scratched off of a sheet of paper.
I think if it smells like what it says and you like the smell, that's 5.
Interesting. I don't think I like any of the smells anymore, though, because my brain hurts a little bit now. Okay, birthday cake. This is like, it's just, it's very unoffensive. 3 out of 5. Okay. This is our possible leaders here. See, these are like the more sophisticated ones. I feel like I like the brown butter blondies. All right, my head hurts now. I feel like there's potential here. K-Walk Comedy says sweet potato pie all day long, but no to pumpkin. Oh, what a bummer. I mean, I like both of them. I think if you got 5 reliable good samples, you might have a good pool to work with. Well, I feel like I have 5 decent samples. Yeah. All right. I don't know. Should I do scratch and sniff stickers? I should price it out. Do I have to ask for a quote from that place? Y'all, I straight up have a headache now. What? On the front page it says COVID-19 smell testing. Looking for a solutions for COVID-19 smell test? Let's call, discuss your needs, and come up with the right product for your school, business, or organization. Studies are showing smell tests can help, as fever checks are often a flawed way of flagging COVID-19 cases. That's interesting. I wonder how old that section on the front of their website is, but I do find it hilarious that maybe people were like schools were buying smell tests. Um, she just sat on her toy on top of your bag. She's trying to tell you to finish packing your bag. Unpacking your bag. Um, if there's gonna be a minimum, it's gonna be more boxes when the books show up. I say hold off. Um, I mean, there'll definitely be some kind of minimum, but I can't imagine the minimum will be terribly high. Um, maybe it will be. I also saw that you can get scratch and sniff sheets that you can use with your own sticker printer. I saw that like very quickly when I was Googling before this. So now I'm like, oh, is that a thing we should do? Yeah. Apparently you should pace your nose. Okay. Interest rates. I was too distracted by the sniffing and now the slight headache I have from the sniffing to explain what's going on with interest rates. I will now try to explain. So, interest rates, as most people know, except for Japan, we're going to move away from Japan because, like I've said, their economy is super weird. They're trying to increase inflation while the rest of the world is trying to decrease inflation. And because of all sorts of special things with Japan's currency. So in the US, we all know we've been living through inflation. I don't think anybody's escaping it at this point. Groceries, especially, and then services are especially sticky. In the UK, services sector has been especially high and inflation has been especially sticky. Like it's been consistently going up in the services sector. So what central banks around the world are doing is raising interest rates because the higher interest rates are, the more it slows down the movement of money in the economy. So if interest rates are low, money is cheap. We also call this the price of money in economics. And you think about it, when interest rates were super low, people were bidding up and up on houses because the monthly payment was not that much higher because interest rates were low. If you're paying a 2.75% interest rate on your mortgage, you can afford to buy more house than you can if you're paying a 8% interest rate on your mortgage. And that was part of what was bidding prices up. And housing has a lot of factors in why the housing market is so wild. But one of the factors was that interest rates were historically low for a really long time, like almost a decade. And in order to get out of the rapid inflation that we saw as after the federal government spent a bunch of money they flung a bunch of money around the economy during COVID, a lot of which was necessary. I mean, the spending that happened on vaccines, the spending on supporting people to stay home, businesses, all of those sorts of things that government spent in terms of fiscal policy, that money flying around in the economy eventually will cause inflation. And the big thing is that, like, we knew it was going to cause inflation, but there was a teeter-totter edge that the Federal Reserve in the US, but central banks, the teeter-totter they want to stay at, which is they want to support the economy and they want the economy strong, which in US Federal Reserve terms is full employment, which is a semi-undefined number, but let's say it's around 3 to 5%-ish. So they want, they want a strong economy, but they don't want inflation to be too high. So one of the tools at your disposal is that you can, as if you were a central bank, is that you can raise interest rates. And the more that interest rates go up, the slower money moves around the economy. And that's true on the consumer side, right? People are spending less on cars because they can't, it's not as cheap to borrow. Like for a long time, car loans were like 0.95%. Now people are spending a little bit less because interest rates are so high. Houses are not moving as fast on the market. The market is not as hot anymore because interest rates are so high. But it's not just on the consumer level. When we talk about the movement of money and interest rates, that affects like corporations borrowing and all of this stuff at very high macro levels of the economy, right? Essentially, people that don't need money that borrow money in order to like grow and expand and do complicated business transactions or just sometimes financial transactions that have no actual business input, which is my own opinion. Um, those people, those corporations who are people in the United States, they slow down their spending. And they have been trying. They've been raising those interest rates for quite a while. The interest rate the Federal Reserve has control over is the rate that banks pay when they borrow money from the Central Reserve. And that downline affects all sorts of other interest rates, eventually getting to us consumers. So all this to say, the Federal Reserve has been trying, they've been like signaling, they don't like to do anything too aggressively. They don't like to tell people what they're going to do too much ahead of time. And that is because the markets will react the second that they think the Federal Reserve, they know what the Federal Reserve is going to do. And they don't want to shift the markets too much. So they do this thing called signaling. And watching a Federal Reserve press conference is a bit like watching ping pong played between two snails. I mean, they really, really try not to give many hints of what's to come. Because every move they make could have like an outsized effect on the economy. As some previous Federal Reserve chairmen have learned. So they have finally said it looks like they've got the numbers they want, the things that they're keeping an eye on, and they're going to start to think about lowering interest rates. So yeah. Oh my gosh, you all are only talking about Scratch and Sniff Snickers. I just wanted to tell you about interest rates, but no one cares. We just want to talk about the Scratch and Sniff Snickers. It's already 4:52, so I think I have to eat this donut like right now. So this is Talking Dough and Eating Donuts, so let's eat a donut. Okay, this donut is the matcha crumble. And it's a cake donut, and it's from Blue Star. Dough's new flavors start next week, and they have some ones I'm really excited about. Yeah, see, this is what I mean by like, it's very soft on the inside. It's almost like much more cake-like than the dough cake donuts. I'm not getting much of the matcha flavor. I'm really like looking for the matcha flavoring here. I'm just not getting it. I'm getting predominantly olive oil. They must use olive oil in this dough. It's good. It just doesn't have a very strong flavor. A donut tax is coming. Yes, it's very floofy. Floofy is a great description. Taxman is taking a very long time to determine the tax rate. Thank you. It's got a very earthy flavor, but it's less of the green tea flavor that matcha normally has. Meteor X says matcha is not my favorite flavor, but if I get it, it needs to taste like it. Yeah, I kind of agree. Their donut is just a very different inside donut flavor. It's almost like birthday cake texture on the inside. But it's good. It's just not quite what I'm used to. It was a good donut. I would have that donut again. So I think it's a 4 out of 5. No, it's a 3.5 out of 5 because it is good. But it's just very subtle. Their tagline at Blue Star is donuts for grown-ups. And I actually feel like that flavor was not grown-up complex enough, but it was just a pleasant donut. It wasn't like aggressively anything. So maybe that's what they mean by donuts for grown-ups. I always thought it was like just sophisticated palate donuts. All right, should we fill in the donut log? Here's the donut log. I'm trying to color the washi tape to the donuts a little better this time because the last one I was really just going random. All right, 3.5 out of 5. There we go. This is kind of interestingly related to the donut log, I feel like, and the fact that this is not a planner channel, is that this weekend I'm leading a stationery store day ride. So it's the second year I'm doing it. Stationery store day it's like record store day or comic book store day, but for stationery stores. And this is the third year that it's happened and the second year I've led a ride for it because we are blessed in Portland to have so many different stationery stores. So there's like, I think 7 or 8 in Portland participating in the challenge. We're going to 5 of them. 4 of them. We're going to 4 of them on like a 9-mile ride. And it was like a really good crowd last year. I think we had like maybe 20 people last year. I feel like I haven't been attending as many rides and therefore promoting this ride at other rides. So it's possible that less people will show up this year, but maybe some people will repeat when they see it on the calendar. There's so many rides on the calendar. It's like, I feel like it's like hard to compete. B says, donuts for grown-ups. We don't put old cereal on your donut like Voodoo does. Oh my God. Seriously. I'm sorry. I really struggled to remember how bad Voodoo is. I used to my favorite Voodoo donut it's called the Gay Bar. And it's a vegan cream-filled cylindrical donut with rainbow Fruit Loops on the top. And I'm curious to have it again. I almost want to have it again because I remember it being pretty good, but I hadn't had Voodoo in so long, and I've gotten very spoiled in the 250 darn donuts that I've had on this live stream from Dough and like other fancy donut places that I now realize voodoo is not very good. Geograph Concept says, I'm marking this in my calendar and I'm coming next year. Well, I'll hopefully have a guest room to put you up next year. I do not currently have a guest room to put you up. But there might be some stores participating in Stationery Store Day in your town too. You should look it up because it's like worldwide. Portland has like an unreasonable number of stationery stores. So there was enough to do a ride. And then we had like little passports between all the stores and everything. It was very cute. Of course, there's a stationery store day, and you not only know about it, but are rallying around it. Well, okay, it's not my concept. Someone else is putting in all the work. Someone who I believe owns a stationery store. But they have like specific merch and everything. It's very cute. I got washi tape last year for Stationery Store Day, and they like had a different artist each year do it. I realized probably better to do the overhead camera for this. I do need to leave in about 5 minutes, y'all, because I gotta go do this work thing. But I wanted to ask you all, tomorrow I am following for work. I'm following around a private investigator. Do you, and it's for our like audience engagement series where we ask audience questions to people with interesting jobs. Do you have any questions you're dying to ask a private investigator about what their job is like? Because we didn't get a ton of submissions online for this one. So, I have my own questions to ask them too, but if you have any, maybe you should check it out. If you just Google Stationery Store Day, you should be able to find the Stationery Store Day website. Okay, in Michigan, there are 6 participating. There's one called Rock, Paper, Scissors in Michigan, which is the same as the one of the stores in Portland. It's a good stationery store name, Rock, Paper, Scissors. They're not a chain. I think they just both have the same name. Dear Ollie and Company, Pursuit, Paper, and Gift, The Fox and Feather, Right Impressions, and yours truly, Elizabeth. Those are all fabulous names. I don't know if any of them are in your town, but those are all the ones in Michigan. Dear private investigator, what's the ratio of exciting chases versus everything else? I think it's almost no exciting chases. Any TV detectives that are kind of realistic? Yes, that's definitely on my questions. So, what is also, there was like a heavy debate amongst me and my editor and some of my colleagues who are different across several generations. We had a Gen X, a millennial, and 2 Gen Zs fighting about who the iconic TV detectives are. And quite a few people had like not heard of other people's ones. Anyway, who do you think of as a TV detective? Because I was originally going to use the Magnum PI theme when I was like doing the forward promo for this. And then I listened to it and I realized like I've never seen Magnum PI. I just know of Magnum PI. And the theme is not that iconic. And so I ended up not using it. What is your favorite bourbon? Right Impressions apparently has tea, so I will trek out to them. I mean, a tea shop / stationery store is 100% my retirement plan. It's like, you know, the people that run a business where you're like, how do they possibly support themselves off that? And that like, are they even paying the expenses for the business? That's my plan, is I'm going to have like a tea shop that sells stationery that I dress up in costumes every day and I just hang out and make tea for people. I think this is like a perfectly solid plan. Can you help me find this missing black bird? Jim Rockford. Rockford Files. Mannix. Yeah, that's a generational thing. Have you ever been hired by both parties in a dispute? And what would happen if you were? I mean, they can't, so, but I'll ask that. Do you wear disguises? Do they always work? This is great. This is fabulous. I love all of these. Okay, Mannix. Detectives from the Boomers. Okay, y'all. The person I'm interviewing is a boomer. So, no. She might be Gen X. She's like on the edge, I think. No, she's Gen X, I think. But I'll ask her who her iconic TV detective is too. Because I think that's interesting. Okay. Tell me what you're looking forward to this week, and then I have to head out because I need to go hang out with some court-appointed special advocates for children, which is who I am hanging out with after the private detectives, but this is just background. So I get to see all these people that are like getting recognized for like years of service as court-appointed special advocates. Veronica Mars and Angel. I didn't even think of Angel as a private detective, but he absolutely is a private detective. Oh, Columbo, yeah. Veronica Mars, I think, is mine. I mean, Sherlock Holmes, too, is, I think, like, maybe the most iconic private detective. But is he, like, kind of in his own category in a little bit? Yes, I will definitely be asking about gender challenges to being a PI. Because that was part of the reason I selected her, is that I wanted someone in a pretty male-dominated field. I wanted a woman in a male-dominated field because I just am interested in your experience. Okay. I'm getting my first tattoo on Thursday. Congrats. That's very exciting. How big is it? How expensive is it? Is it gonna hurt? And presenting at my second conference also on Thursday. Woo! Is it a library conference or is it a different conference? I'm at the process of trying to rescue a wounded dove, hoping I can catch it and get it to a vet. Poor thing. Oh, poor baby. That seems very challenging, though. I do not even know how you would rescue a dove. I guess if they're wounded, it would be easier. Pigeons are doves, so pigeons seem to like us. Okay. Well, I do need to leave so that I can make it to this thing on time. It's been a delight to have you all here. Sending good luck for tattoos and presentations, and sending very good healing vibes to your dove. I hope that you get the dove and you can get it helped out. I don't know what the equivalent of the Audubon Society is. They're not even called the Audubon Society anymore. They're called the Bird Alliance. Is in the UK, but I hope you can take them to the Bird Alliance equivalent. And everybody, I hope you have tons of fun. I think K-Walk Comedy, it's like your first week back at school this week, right? You need a cloth, gloves, a box, and a ton of luck. Wow. I love the internet. I love that you could find all of this out now. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a lovely week. I will be back next week, and then the week after that, I might not have the stream because of union negotiations, but we will see. I am going to see about maybe having David guest star to talk about keyboards. So we'll see how that goes. And please send me either on the forums or at questions@ohmydollar.com your favorite floof of the week pictures so that we can share them a different week. It's okay if you've already sent in the floof. I can look at the same floof twice. I'm sure you have more than one picture of your cat or your turtle or whatever it might be. Your hamster, your plant. Teacher's back next week. Kids after that. Okay, well, good luck. Good luck, teachers being back next week. Everybody, stay safe, stay hydrated, pet a cat if you have one available, and see you next Tuesday. Bye.